Yo, so ladies, tonight is about transformation. Not in January, not when life slows down, but right now, before the year actually changes. Okay, so we're not talking about motivation or hype. We're talking about identity. So identity is the root of everything you do. The truth is, like, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of who you believe you are. And if you don't shift that identity before January hits, you'll repeat the same year you just survived. Okay, so same habits, same excuses, same frustrations, right? This call is where the old version of you dies. Okay, and the 2026 version of you is born. So the reason why you're here is because you've lived too many years on repeat. Okay, so if you said this like for many years, you've said this time is for real, right? But not because you're weak, but because you've been trying to change your actions without changing the identity that drives them. Okay, so the women you are right now is only wired to survive. Okay, so the women you are right now is only wired to survive. The women you're becoming is wired to grow. Okay, so these two identities cannot exist at the same time. Um, you just have to see this class as your bridge. Okay, the moment where you stop talking about your potential and actually start behaving like the woman who finally fulfills all this stuff. Okay, and just heads up if you're watching this right now, right now is probably a good idea to get a pen and paper and start writing down who you want to be. Okay, so here are the five action steps to the 2026 you. Okay. So action step number one is you want to identify who you want to become in 2026. Okay. Define her clearly. So define who you want to be clearly. Stop waiting to feel ready. Okay. Identity shift begin like starts when you are clear. So you cannot become the woman you haven't thought about becoming. Who is the 2026 version of you? So think about like how does she eat? How does she move? How does she sleep? How does she work out? What do you tolerate? Type in the Zoom chat right now, like, and be honest. Like, who is the 2026 version of you? Is it someone who doesn't negotiate? Is it someone who, even on her worst days, shows up? So decide who that person is. Decide who that 2026 version of you is in detail. Because if you don't define who she is, you're just going to go back to your old patterns every time life gets hard. Okay? Every time when life gets messy, you're just going to go back to those old patterns if you don't define today who you want to be in 2026. Okay? You have to decide to become her now. Okay? So put in the Zoom chat now. Now is the right time, right? Not later, now. And that 2026 version of you is going to slowly appear. Okay. So action number two is you want to choose the behaviors 2026 you would choose. You want to act like the woman that you want to become. And you want to let action lead the identity. Okay. So once you know who you want to become, act like her before you feel like her. Okay. So identity isn't created by thinking, it's created by behaving like that person. Okay. It's about taking action, not dreaming. Okay. Like we're not all talk here. Ask yourself daily, like, what would the 2026 version of me do right now? Right? Would you skip the workout or would you show up anyways? Would you scroll for 2 hours or would you sleep in bed for 2 hours? Would you rot in bed or would you get the steps in? Would you snack mindlessly or would you drink water and wait? So just realize this, like your actions are going to cast votes on the women who you want to grow into. Okay, so this is how identity shifts. through being consistent with action. Not talking about it, actually doing this stuff day by day, even if it's a small, tiny action. Okay. Even if it looks sloppy in the beginning, even if you're not fully convinced yet. This sounds similar to me when I wanted to become a online fitness coach, right? I had to ask myself, what would someone that is an online fitness coach do? They post every day, right? They'd make a post every day. They talk in front of the camera. Even though I sucked at doing that in the beginning, but now I'm doing it every single day, right? I didn't post every day. I would post, like, even in my personal account, I'd post once every, um, I think there was like a time where I didn't post for 6 years, right? So really, really take action, even if it's sloppy, even if it's messy, even if it's small. Start taking action today. Ask yourself, what would the 2026 version of me do right now? Okay, so that's action number two. Choose the behaviors she would choose. Okay. Action number three is you want to eliminate the old you patterns. So stop negotiating your commitments. Okay. Break that identity loop that kept you stuck. You cannot become the new you if you keep on practicing the old shit, right? You have to delete those habits. So even in the Zoom chat, even if you're watching live right now, type in delete into the chat, okay? Type in delete, DELETE, into the Zoom chat right now if you want to delete all those negative habits out of your life, okay? Every woman has an old me version of herself that shows up when life gets messy. That old me could be someone that resorts to emotional eating, right? Resorting to Uber Eats when you're lazy, right? Skipping meals, skipping workouts, starting again on Monday. Delete those old version parts of you, okay? These are identity patterns. Like they're not habits, and the only way to kill them is to stop negotiating with them. You become the new you by refusing to behave like the old one. Okay. Even when it's uncomfortable. So delete the habit of binge eating when your weight isn't dropping. Delete the habit of rotting in bed and fully giving up. Delete the habit of resorting to Uber Eats when there's no food at home. There's always a better habit to replace them. You just have to ask Coach Ben on whatever you need to do. Okay. So again, we want to delete all these habits the old you would do. Okay. And you're not going to change until you delete them. Put in number four in the Zoom chat if you're still following, okay? Or if you're watching live on Instagram, put in number four. Cool. So action number four is you want to create non-negotiables for yourself. So not something you wish you want to do starting in 2026. You want to create standards, these non-negotiables. And also you want to make them simple and realistic and something you could do every single day, right? Because wishful habits, like stuff you're going to be all talk about, are soft. Like, oh, I want to eat better, or I want to walk more, or I want to be consistent, right? Soft, right? But when they're non-negotiable and they're a standard that you live by, they're solid, right? This is what I'm going to do now, or this is who I am right now. I'm going to get 8,000 steps per day. This is who I am now. I'm going to meal prep every Sunday or Monday. This is who I am now. I'm going to get 3 workouts in per week and log them into my Google Calendar so I know exactly when to do them, right? You want to pick 2 to 3 non-negotiables that you can hit daily, no matter what. And usually for the ladies into the Zoom chat right now, or like the ladies in my soft and sculpt method, we always have these non-negotiables of getting a certain amount of steps per day, right? Getting 3 workouts done per week, getting enough sleep, right? Making sure you're in bed at least 8 hours before you're supposed to wake up, right? In the Zoom chat or in the live right now, type of non-negotiable you want to start having in your real life right now. Okay. Maybe it's drinking 2 liters of water in a day. Make that a non-negotiable, right? Maybe it's making sure protein is in every single meal. Maybe it's getting a minimum of 8,000 steps per day. Maybe it's um, making your bed a non-scroll zone, right? No scrolling when you're in bed. That's what me and Ara do, right? So these non-negotiables are going to solidify your identity, okay? And when your life feels chaotic, when your non-negotiables, um, or when your life feels chaotic, life gets messy, your non-negotiables are going to keep you grounded in the version of you that doesn't quit, right? Standards are what's going to create identity. Identity is what's going to drive results. A good example of this in my life right now is I just make sure I post something on my Instagram story all the time, right? I don't leave my Instagram story empty. There's always something there for people that are new, that want to join the program. Okay. I made that a non-negotiable for me. Post something every single day on my story, but also post something like a post, right? That's my non-negotiable. Even for me as well, like my non-negotiable is not getting, or just making sure I get at least 8,000 steps per day, right? Another non-negotiable right now is like making sure I meal prep on Sunday or Monday. A non-negotiable for me as well is like making sure I get 3 workouts a week done, right? And once you live by these standards, when life gets messy, it's like like everything's gonna be easy. Okay. Put a 5 in the Zoom chat if you're still following. Okay. So then I'll go over action number 5. Okay. So action number 5 is to build proof daily. So you want to reinforce that identity. And in order to do that, you have to show proof or evidence to like let that evidence become your confidence. Because confidence doesn't come from looking different. It comes from proving to yourself that you can actually follow through. Like, for example, every day, um, if you hit, like, are you gonna hit your steps? Show me proof. Show everyone proof on Instagram. Post it on your story, right? Who cares? 90% of people out there don't even take care of themselves. 90% of people don't even get 8,000 steps per day. Post it on Instagram. Post that you got 8,000 steps in a day. And it's gonna motivate other people as well, right? Another thing you can do is if you want to make sure you're getting your protein in and you want to show evidence, proof, post it on your IG, post it on your IG story. Who cares? Again, 90% of women don't care about how much protein they're getting in, and they don't care about like what they're putting in their mouths, and they're wondering why they feel super heavy and super slow, right? Or let's say, for example, if you want to get a workout done, even though when you're tired, show your Instagram proof, right? Share with the group chat or like share with the group chat, share with your friends, share with your family that even when life is tough, you're able to get the workouts in, right? That's why I have a lot of clients that just show that they're in the gym. It just helps them stay accountable, right? Making sure that there's proof that, oh yeah, I am getting the workouts in. A good example for that is Kathleen, who was posting her working out like once every 2 weeks, but it was showing her in the gym. And look where she's at. She's lost close to 40 pounds. Insane, right? So what proof does, it just rewires your identity faster than any motivation could. Okay? Because every small win is a small step forward to becoming the 2026 version of you that's going to pretty much last healthy and strong and fit for the rest of your life. Okay? So this is how women transform. Like they don't transform through being intense in the gym. They don't transform from um, fancy meal preps. They transform through daily evidence that they are not the same woman they were last year. Okay. So you want to make sure you do all this hard stuff now, and the you in 20 years, not just next year, the you in 20 years is going to thank the 2026 you for rewiring that mindset and actually showing up and actually drilling these habits into your brain and into your body, right? Again, if you want a transformation, you have to follow all these things that I've been mentioning in the Zoom chat right now, right? Or like in the Zoom calls in the past weeks, where the theme is um, building a new identity for the new year with all these small and simple habits. But yeah, like this stuff is hard right now. It's hard in the beginning. But again, this is hard mode for now. Once you've survived hard mode for a year, you've solidified all these habits, right? To the point where hard mode just becomes easy mode. And it's going to stay like that for the rest of your life just because you worked really hard for one single year, right? It's going to feel like autopilot. And actually, just put a six in the Zoom chat right now. If you're going to write down who you're going to be in 2026, okay? So if you're going to choose the behaviors you're going to stick to, if you're going to delete all those old you patterns, if you're going to create non-negotiables, if you're going to show everyone proof that you've done all these things, okay? So put a Zoom chat if you're ready to actually change, right? And solidify all these simple habits, okay? Put a six in the Zoom chat right now. So just a quick recap for all these actions, these simple actions you got to do in order to um, change before the new year actually starts. Number one is you want to decide who you want to become in 2026. Okay. Number two is you want to choose the behaviors the woman would want to have in 2026, what they would choose by then, right? Number three is you want to eliminate the old you patterns. So we're deleting the old you. We're creating non-negotiables, which is number four. We're creating non-negotiables, which are standards that you're going to live by daily for the rest of your life now, right? And number five is you want to build proof daily. So like what you can do is like share with your friends, share with your family, tell people, post it on your Instagram story, post that you're on a fitness journey right now, right? All this proof is going to help motivate you and keep you consistent, right? Because once you have that proof out there, there's no turning back, right? So here you go. This is your 2026 identity blueprint. Choose who you want to be, okay? And you want to act in alignment with that person daily. So you want to become her before January starts. So you don't become the 2026 you by accident. You become that you with intention, okay? By actions that match your future, not your past. Again, we're deleting the past, okay? This identity shift is not a someday action. It's not a, oh yeah, maybe I'll do that like next year or the year after that, right? It's a right now decision. Okay. Put it into the Zoom chat or the live right now. Because once January arrives, the women you want to be already exists, right? So it's not new year, new me. It's new identity, new standards, new outcomes. Um, and then you just become her now so that 2026 is going to be feeling completely different. Okay. Anyways, that's pretty much the end of the Zoom call. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a question right now. If not, just been all good. And if there are no questions, then we will end this right here. Peace.